And our second presenter, Yeon came from Japan, Associate Professor, Japan Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. She'll talk about STEM education in the context of educational innovation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending my presentation. I'm Eun Kim, and I'm an associate professor in JAIST, which is Japan Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, and I'm in the Department of Knowledge Science. Yeah, so first of all, I want to introduce the city I come from and the university I come from. My school was established in 1990, which is like almost 30 years ago. It's from the Tokyo Institute of Technology and Engineering School, and the main campus is here, like the opposite side of Tokyo. So it's like 1 hour from flight. And this is a small size graduate school, so we only have 3 departments, which is information science, material science, and knowledge science, which I belong into. And we have 9 areas. So if you're interested in, you can click on this link. You can check the link here. So as I mentioned, we only have a graduate school, so it's about 1,000 students. And more than half of them are international. So we are in Japan, but all the courses and thesis you can select, you can only study in English, so you don't have to speak Japanese in my school. So we are located in this Ishikawa prefecture, which is close to Kanazawa and Komatsu. So I want to introduce a little bit about the city I come from, which is Kanazawa. So recently, many European tourists came visiting my city. So it is also one of the member of Creative and Sustainable City by UNESCO. So we have a beautiful landscape. For winter, we have a lot of snow. Spring, we have good cherry blossoms. And the main train station is one of the most beautiful train stations in the world. And this city, there is not so much earthquake or big fire or no wars in our history. So all the traditional streets are preserved as like 500 years ago. So it is like Kyoto. And we have very good architectural museums, and we have pretty much art atmosphere, so very famous art museums, and it is very inspired city. So why I came to this conference is we also hold a STEAM symposium, international symposium on JAIST STEAM education. So it was held in April this year, and I was the chair of this symposium. The vice president of my school, we have an art school in Kanazawa right here, the City of Art. So we have a famous art school in Kanazawa. So we have some partnership between my school and this Kanazawa Art Institute. So we were launching a project of STEAM education. But unfortunately, it was not launched this year, so we are waiting for the next year again. So we also had a similar international symposium in my schools, and about like 10 presenters from America, Korea, and Japan had presentation in this symposium. And I want to share one of the studies we had in this symposium, this presentation. And this is my lab. In Japan, each professors have their own lab, and we have our own like a theme of their research. So in my case, it is about learning, creativity, or designing the educational program, innovations. today I want to talk about these three agendas. First is challenges of the educators in higher education. And second is STEAM education for teaching creativity and innovativeness in higher education. And the last is the lessons learned from the case study. So first, challenge of the higher educations. Many of you are also faculties in universities, so we know that there's no reward for high quality teachings. And we have a bit more pressure to publish journal articles annually, and also pressure about acquiring the grants. So in these perspectives, faculty and students are both struggling because the teaching quality is not controlled, and there are many pressures to grants and research articles that spur us to work more on the research. And so we need to innovate the techniques and novel pedagogical approaches. In Japan, we have an initiative called Society 5.0. So first, Society 1.0 was about the hunting society, and the second is agrarian society, and the third is industrial society, and the fourth was information society, and now we are super smart society. So in this super smart society, we need to innovate our educations, especially in higher educations, to improve the quality of teaching and learning, to prepare students to the evaluation of the society and its needs. So we need some changes in pedagogical approaches. So in graduate school, we are focusing on active learning, problem-based learning, or experiential learning, STEAM educations, or CDIOs in Scandinavian countries. And there are some macro trends in higher educations. I selected three macro trends. First is millennial generation, or Generation Z. So because I'm in higher education, which is a graduate school, so many of them are ranged in younger than this recently, but most of them are called millennial generations. And they have received enormous support from parents, and they are exposed to various digital media and rapid switching between different activities, and they have a shortened their span of attention, so they cannot pay attention to a long lecture style class, and lack of concentration on learning in-depth knowledge. So we are struggling to deal with those kind of generations, because we need to focus on knowledge creation rather than recall of the facts, and we need to enhance their critical thinking skills. And the second challenges in higher education is about the financial models. So since my school was established in the golden time of Japan, which is bubble era, and now it's decreasing. So the professor in old time, they have lots of funds from the government, but now the revenues are falling, and universities are encouraged to run the postgraduate and executive program, non-degree course as the source of additional source of finance. So we also have a Tokyo campus, which is only for the employees, and also to attract foreign students who never experienced research or standardized higher educations. So these are photos from Japanese schools. So none of them are Japanese, and actually in my lab there is no Japanese in my lab also. Even though my school are located in Japan, all of the students are from Southeast Asia or China. So there are another challenges to teach those students, and we need inclusive pedagogy for diverse students. And also another trend, last important trend is we have some pressure for novelty. So to get a research fund or to attract some attentions, we need originality. And so in Japan, we have lots of new studies. So examples of new studies like hope studies, social technology, even there are ninja study or active aging. So there are so many studies that had never taught or learned before. So we need to enhance creativity and innovation skills to increase novelty of the research. So so there are macro trends like millennial generations and changes in the financial models and pressure for novelties. We have some pedagogical challenges as well. So we need the experiential learning, enhance critical thinking, large group teaching, and developing ethical global citizenships. We have many pedagogical challenges as well. And also to cope with those challenges, STEAM education can be a good answer for teaching creativity and innovativeness in higher education. So as I told you, we did international symposium in April. So we would like to invite some professors who research about STEAMs, but almost all of them are focusing on the K-12, like elementary schools, middle schools, in their especially their science class. They using some like kind of kit that students can make something by themselves. So almost all the STEAM education were focusing on the K-12, but we are in graduate school, so we want to focus on higher education. So we saw like engineering, like in elementary school they don't have engineering class, so we are focusing on the engineering educations using the STEAM pedagogical approach. So to see the engineering schools, to study about the engineering school, higher education, engineering schools educational program, we need to study about how the engineering school system has been developed since it's born, like from the first industrial revolution, as I told you, like we have a 5.0 society, which is personal society. So like we call like first industrial revolution and second industrial revolution, third industrial revolution, and now we say we are in the fourth industrial revolutions. So there are two different types of engineering schools. Even though I'm from Asia, but in Asian time, in like 18th centuries, there was no engineering school in Asia, so we had to review the engineering schools education in Central Continental Europe and Anglo-Americans to compare with those both, like European schools. The engineering school created by the state needs. So it has some school culture. It has a state engineer, which is belonging to government, and they train to abstract advanced mathematics and science. However, in America, this engineering school was created by industrialists, which is different from Europe, and they have a shop culture, not like a school academic culture, and they are more like entrepreneurs or freelance professionals, and they trained on the job, acquired practical skills. So those are more like practical, and those are more like academic or government. But in the second industrial revolutions, it was convergent. So both European and Anglo-American, they have similar cultures, like supremacy of school cultures and the needs for scale-up academic training of engineers and importance of business and application of science and technical fields. And in the third generation, which is information revolutions, there was the integration of informatics and information technologies. So all the engineering schools are focusing on information and informatics. And now we are in the age of big data, IoT, or AI, so we don't know how it will change. Yeah. And those are the curriculum structure. We take an example of French engineering schools, which is Grandes Écoles. So they have 2 to 3 years program in these Grandes Écoles engineering schools. So first year is like common program, and they learn the basic courses in various fields. And in the second and third year, they have their major specializations, and those are also focusing on the project-based learning. And also they need some validation requirements like internships, scientific internships, and project in companies. So the goal of the curriculum is not to make a specialist, but rather a general engineer with useful and diverse skills to solve problems of today's society. And we took an example of one semester course. Example, like there's a 6 months. So for 4 months it's learning, and 2 months is for applying. So first 4 months they learn and they take an exam, and in the last 2 months it is based on the project and collaborative problem solving, and it is focusing on the real world problems. So for example, it's like this. So there is a science, technology, and engineering, and math. So currently they use this STEM education rather than the STEAM education. It lacks some art perspectives. So those are current curriculum, current pedagogy in integrated learning and project-based learning. But in somehow they mix with the art perspective, which is called the design week. So in ZEIST, we also have some design class in summer and the winter intensive course. So student has to make some artwork or some showcases based on their team project. So students have to compare to imagine, design, and test the object or structure, life size or innovative and technically efficient. And students will be divided into mixed teams based on their majors, and will work on the 10 pre-established themes based on the set of specifications. So these are kind of art integrated science and technology education. And also we conducted some case studies in CDIO. CDIO initiative this is established by some Scandinavian countries plus MIT. So they made this initiative, and they made some partnership between some European countries and American universities. So this is also kind of STEAM education, like conceive, design, and initiate and operate. So they make this kind of curriculums all together with their membership universities, and they train the faculty members to teach students to have some integrated curriculum. So those are some examples. I also went to training workshop in KTH in Stockholm in Sweden. So we learned how students are learning their classes in integrated ways. So those, because the Sweden, in Greece also, they are famous for their shipbuilding engineering technologies. So there are some projects about shipbuilding in the lake. So lastly, I want to share the lessons learned from the cases. So we reviewed a lot of STEAM education for enhancing creativity and innovations, focusing on graduate schools. So creativity and innovation education is a discipline still in the early stage of development. Many early studies simply describe the courses or trends and discussing the academic issues or developing educational process or evaluating courses by comparing the performances of those who completed the course with those who did not take the course. So it's quite early stage, so we need to study more about those STEAM education in graduate school. So, pedagogical development on teaching creativity and innovation. So, how we learn? So, there are some classifications of the Suteris et al. There are three types of learning objectives. Like first is inspiration, to get inspired, and second is learning, like you acquire some knowledge, and incubations, like you have something in your mind, and then after it can create something. So there are three different types of learning objectives in schools. And topics to be taught, there are many topics we can teach in graduate schools, and we have to utilize the method for pedagogies, like a case-based learning, theory-based learning, or research, technology-based learning, or problem-based learning. So we have to learn how students are learning from schools and what kind of teaching method we can utilize for the topics we can teach. And here are suggestions in education in Japanese graduate schools. Because in Japan still we have many isolation between departments, so we need some integrated learning. We have no curriculum coherence at the postgraduate levels, and we have no project. Almost all the classes are about the class basis, and we spend a lot of time in the laboratory research. So why the reason is we don't have a direct relationship between industry and academies, and we really hire the graduate schools spend 1 year in industry to learn their job, and what we learn at postgraduate is not so important. So those are my conclusion in my research report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and it's a lot of valuable information. Now, do we have a third speaker here? Looks like we don't have. So we have another 15 minutes at least to ask questions. Now the floor is open. You can start asking questions. Yes.
We have summer and winter special courses during credits. The student have to select. So it's not mandatory, but student can select to take a course in the application time.
What are the attitudes of the students towards these courses? Because I come from an engineering school, but I am not an engineering faculty. I'm education, arts faculty. So when we try to encourage the students to integrate the arts into the STEM-based curriculum, usually the level of motivation and the attitudes are not very positive. So based on your experience, what are the attitudes of the students?
It's also say because they almost don't, that they take it because for the credit. Yes, it's the same, but we mix many different type of classes, like to team buildings or to learn a new like a software, so they can cooperate.
Any other question, guys? Very interesting presentation. I'm sure you have a lot of things you want to ask. Yes, there's always questions. Others, please think about new questions.
We might have to go back to one of your templates, PowerPoints. You had a recommended course schedule for first, second, and third year. I think it was the graduate program or undergraduate program. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Go back.
Yes, you have to go back. I will remember which one is.
All those things are for graduate school.
This is graduate school.
Master level.
Okay, master level graduate schools. When I read the common program courses and the major specialization courses for mechanical and material science, I did not see any course that has to do with electricity, electromagnetism. And it is amazing that in such a period that we live where, data, large databases and access and high-tech technology is used, no electromagnetism course is included, not even basic electronics. So, how do you account for this gaping hole in the curriculum? I'm a physicist myself, so I couldn't help noticing that this was missing.
It's just an example. So we didn't list all the courses. We selected some example names. So it's not all of them. And also I'm not specialized in this mechanical engineering things. So I just selected some samples.
Any other question? That's a very technical question. Actually, there's no material science, there's no electronics, whatever, Do you want to say anything about your program?
We're not making a program with that, but only putting the. We're intending to put the basis of epistemological basis for funding better the STEM education. It's a kind of theoretical reflection, epistemological, philosophical, sociological, about the commonalities between apparently separate areas, but just to contribute to an approach that sees all these 5 areas much more close than the general view of today. So it needs still a major elaboration to conclude in curricula and to take and extract conclusions to be handled about that.
So I have a question that one of your diagram, that last chapter, is that right? They used to show the geometry and things like that. It was really calculated, or you used to analyze that one and came up with this? One of your diagram,
The diagram of Leonardo da Vinci,
Yeah.
Last Supper.
Yeah.
Well, it's just underlined
Yeah.
for, well, the audience here is quite scientific, but if you talk for another audience who is not so much engineering or scientific educated, so you need to put into play which is perspective,
Now
which
only
is
I'm looking at everything very sharp and well aligned.
Well, didn't Leonardo actually have the sketches of those projections? So he had progressive
I don't know, but I suppose.
I think he did, yeah.
I think it is.
That's
yes.
how it came out so perfect,
It's-
you know,
yeah,
because
yeah,
he
yeah.
started by drawing these lines, and then
And then based on that,
Yeah,
that's
to
how he built.
compose.
That's how he built depth.
so
know, in
you
his-
mean, yeah, going from the other way, he went from STEM to arts. He drew the lines, that math and whatever geometry, then drew the art.
Well, Leonardo was the classic example of that.
Artist, engineer,
because he started with
scientist.
science,
That's right.
dissecting cadavers to see what the muscles look like, so that he could sculpture them, more accurately, or paint them, more accurately. So he started with science.
Leonardo is the last artist, inventor, scientist, all you can say. So he integrated all this knowledge in his own personality and his own masterpieces. It is well known for that.
Any other question, guys? Yes, yes.
In Egypt, in Aswan city, in Abu Simbel temple, the sun is directed twice a year on the face of Ramses king. I think it is a relation between science and arts, engineering and arts. Abu Simbel temple.
No, that's right.
Ramses, the face of Ramses king, directed to its face twice a year at the same time every year. I think the relation between engineering and astronomy, and like the example you show in your presentation.
Yeah. Yeah. Apart from the cathedrals, you see to the pyramids and the temples. There are many examples in which you can show to your students that the engineering and architectural knowledge of antiquity was very, very high level. This is not quite simple to see that all people in the ancient times were absolutely illiterate. No, it's not true, absolutely false.
Any other question? If you don't have any other questions or comments, you can take a coffee break.
So please, look at the Parthenon. This is another example of beauty. You know, the phi, the relationship between the dimension of the Parthenon is well known, a mathematical relationship between white and height. So you can talk 5, 10, 2 hours about this, the discovering by Phidias. Is it the name of the architect of the Parthenon? Phidias discovered this relationship, this amazing relationship that is the same relationship in our cards. So if you take our card, yeah, the relationship between that and that is the same as Parthenon.
Any other? So we have a coffee. Yeah. We can take a 10 minutes coffee break.
No, we have only 5 minutes and then we are coming here for the next session.
What time the next one?
4:10.
Okay.
3 minutes.